Hi, it's Paul Blough, and we're here today to talk about device encryption. Again, let's explain what encryption is so everybody's clear on that. It's when we take our information, our data. That could be a Word document, it could be our accounting database, it could be a spreadsheet, an email, whatever it is, any data that we have, anything that's important to us, and we scramble it up with a passcode so that only the people that are authorized can get access to that. And encryption can be accomplished by either putting a piece of software on a computer or a device that will encrypt the entire device, or just using some type of a solution that will encrypt just the individual files. Why is this important? Well, encryption is important to anybody that has protected information. Protected information is anything that would be under regulation, like financial information, credit card information, personal identification types of documentation, and certainly patient records in a doctor's office. One of the things that we want to make sure that we consider when we are talking about device encryption is USB drive sticks. And this would really be true to any type of portable device, even the larger USB hard drives and such. But this in particular is really, really popular. We see them all of the time. A lot of people use this to do backups of their computer and just to transport information from maybe work to home, to a customer's location, whatever it may be. And so we could have an awful lot of information on here. We could have a lot of information that's very sensitive on here. It's really easy to use, and because it's so easy to use and it's so convenient, it's also really convenient to lose. Well, this little tiny thing here, all we got to do is have a hole in our pocket. It flows right through our pocket and out it goes, or we sit down and maybe it just slips out of our pocket, like sometimes happens with our keys. And we leave it someplace and we don't even know where it's at. The problem is if this is not encrypted, then anybody can just unplug it, plug it in, and they've got access to whatever information is on there, which could be sensitive information. And if you're in a regulated industry, such as anybody that receives credit card information and records that on here, or anybody that's got patient records, or anybody that's got financial records, well, that's really considered a breach. And a breach has to be notified to the government. You have to tell people that were affected by the breach any information that affects them individually. It's a lot of embarrassment in having to tell your customers and your employees that you lost their information and maybe somebody else has it. But there are also some financial consequences. So you could have a fine levied against you. You could also have somebody sue you. A lot of different things. So we don't want to do that. So a simple answer with these devices is to install a program on your computer that automatically encrypts them. So just kind of, if we plug it into our computer, it's encrypted, and we know that if we transport it someplace else, if we're going to plug it in somewhere else, we're going to have to know the passcode to be able to open it up at that other computer location. So that's a great, simple tool to do that. Most software will do this now. Most operating systems have some feature within them. Microsoft has Bitdefender, Mac has File Locker. There's usually inside of your computer already a way to do a very simple version of this. And if you want to do something that's a little bit more comprehensive, there are really, really great solutions that we can help you with as well that makes it extremely easy and very easy to control. Now I want to talk about one other type of device too, and that's a laptop. Now we see a lot of people now use laptops instead of desktops. In fact, that's pretty normal, very, very common, because we have a lot of people that just move from location to location and to take our entire desktop with us in the form of this laptop. Again, the problem with that is that when we take something and make it mobile, we have the possibility of it being stolen or it being lost. And the same thing would be true here. Very, very likely that there's some kind of protected information on this box. And again, just because you have a password on here, it doesn't mean that somebody can't hack that password, figure it out, get around it, use some special codes and special software to do that. But if you have it encrypted, it becomes incredibly difficult, maybe even bordering on impossible to be able to get access to that information. So there are whole disk encryption software programs that can be put onto here. Again, there are some built-in capabilities with BitLocker and File Locker. There are some weaknesses in regards to those. They don't do everything exactly the way that we'd like to see them done, and they're not always the easiest thing to use. And so there's some other software out there that can be implemented as well to lock down either just the protected area of the hard drive or maybe the entire laptop itself. So device encryption allows us to make sure that whatever information that we have, even when it's being ported around and taken to different locations, it remains very, very secure, and only the people that have authority to have access to that, only the people that was intended to have access to it will have access. That's an important consideration and probably something that you just don't normally think about. So hopefully this has given you some food for thought. You'll give some consideration. Make sure that your laptop, your USB stick, or any other portable media that you might have, any data on, is kept secure. Now, especially true if you're using backups and taking them off-site. Make sure that you keep those safe as well. So use encryption, whether it's the built-in encryption or some other type of product, to make sure that your files remain safe.